Hi, I'm a storyteller. When I come upon a really good story, I add it to my repertoire. And I came upon one in this book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen R Covey. In the book, Stephen makes a point, and in it he tells a story written by somebody else. It's a story about a man, we'll call him John. And John is a writer, and he's become very disillusioned. His life has become boring. He feels jaded. He has no creativity. He knows that he's not his usual self. So he goes along to see a doctor, a very wise old doctor. And the doctor examines him thoroughly, questions him, and then he says, here's what I'm going to do for you. I want you to take a day off work, a full day, mind you, full day. Now here's what I've got to do, John. I'm going to give you 4 envelopes, each of them numbered 1 through to 4, and they will have some directions on them inside the envelopes. I want you to open one of them at 9 o'clock, one at midday, one at 3 p.m, and one at 6 o'clock as the sun is going down. Can you do that? And John said, well, all right, well, sounds a bit ridiculous to me, but I'll do it. He says, you won't think it's ridiculous, son, when I give you my bill. So the next day, John took the day off, did what he was told, and went to the beach. He sat down on the beach, and at 9 o'clock, he opened the first envelope. What he read seemed silly. It said, listen carefully. Listen carefully. So he listened. First of all, he heard the sea roaring in, the breakers coming in on the beach. And he listened a bit more and he could hear seagulls. And he thought, well, that's it. How am I going to listen for 3 hours? But the doctor said to listen. So he listened. And after a while, he heard other sounds, not just the surf, not just the seagulls, but children laughing a few hundred yards further along the beach, and the sound of a jet plane high above. And he heard all sorts of sounds that he never realized were there. And he listened and listened, and his mind became very still as if he's listening to other things, hoping to hear other things. At midday, he opened the second envelope. The second message was, reach back. And he thought, what's this? Reach back. And then he started thinking back to earlier times in his life, when he was happy, when he was joyous. These sort of things came to him. And that kept him going for a while. And then eventually it became 3 o'clock in the afternoon. He opened the third envelope and it said, examine your motives. And he thought, what's this? I just want what everyone else wants. I want to be rich. I want to be successful. I want to be recognized. And these were the thoughts going through his head. But after a while, because he had so long to ponder on that, the realization came that the goals that he thought he wanted were not going to get him what he wanted. The peace of mind, the feelings of real purpose. And then he realised that unless we are serving something greater than our own needs, we'll never be at peace. And he thought about this very deeply. By this time, it was getting towards dusk, the sun was going down, it was 6 o'clock. And he opened the final envelope, and it said, "Write your worries in the sand." And so he found a little bit of shell, and he scraped down a few things he thought were worries in the sand. And he stood up, and he walked peacefully away, because he knew that the tide would come in. Do you like that story? A day's peace, the profound messages, was all he needed to get him back to his old self. No, an improvement on his old self. He was back being the person he really knew that he should be.